Date, June 16th, 1997. Survivor, Tauba Biterman. Maiden name, Fuchs. Interviewer, Sandy Hoffman. City, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Country, USA. Language, English. My name is Sandy Hoffman, and today is June 16th, 1997. I'm interviewing Tauba Biterman in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Tape 1, Tauba Biterman. Please say your name and spell it.
Tauba Biterman. Tauba Biterman.
And what was your name at birth? And please spell that.
Chaya Tauba Fuchs. Chaya Chaja. Tauba Tauba Fuchs Fuks.
Did you go by any other names?
I did not go by any other names except Tauba.
Any nicknames?
No.
What is your date of birth?
December the 6th, 1918.
And what is your age?
I'll be 79, I think. I hate to say it.
What city and country were you born? And please spell the city.
I was born in Zamosc, Poland. Zamosc. You make a dot on the S.
Please describe your town for me.
I lived in a town that consisted of 3 sections. New Zamosc, Old Zamosc, and the 3rd section, in Yiddish you call it the Brower, otherwise you call it Lubelskie Przedmieście.
And how large was your city?
It was a pretty large city, but I don't know the population.
What about the Jewish population?
We had a very large Jewish population, but as I say, at this point in my life, I was not interested to know the population of the city.
What is Zamosc near? What's the largest?
Lublin.
Tell me about your family. First, about your mother.
I had a wonderful mother. She sang and she was always happy, and she always guided us beneath her wings. And my mother was illiterate, and she promised herself that her children will get an education, and that's what she did. We used to come home from school and bring home songs in Polish, and my mother used to sing them with us. She was a wonderful mother, and I miss her. I miss my mother more than anything in the world. At any age, you need a mother.
And what was your mother's name?
Hannah Chesner.
Do you remember any of the songs that she would sing?
Yes.
Could you sing one?
She sang a song about a mountaineer. O góralu, czemuś taki smutny, czemu blada twoja twarz? O czem myślisz, o czem marzysz? Pewnie coś na sercu masz. Nędza mnie wygnała z kraju, los mnie rzucił między was. Nie mam tu komu tutaj śpiewać, niech szumi rodzinny las. I will translate this song. A mountaineer left his home because they couldn't live there. And when he left his home, he was so sad. And people asked him, "Why are you so sad?" And he said, "I miss my home." And the poverty and other things throw him out of his land. Something like this, yeah. I remember my mother singing this. Maybe my other siblings don't remember, but I do.
What did your mother do? Did she...
Raise the family in poverty. In poverty, to raise a family. It's not easy. To work all week long and to make Shabbos, only Shabbos. The rest of the week didn't matter. Just Friday night and Shabbos.
Tell me your father's name and tell me about your father.
My father's name was Gershon Fuchs. He was a cap maker. And he did the best he could to provide for 6 children. And then we had the grandmother, his mom. We had to support a little bit too. And my father was a man. He worked, and this was it. And we loved our father too, you know. But I have very fond memories of my mother. She was the best. When they survived in Russia, this is what my sisters are telling me. My mother said, "None of my children will die before me." And she kept her promise. Thank God we are all alive. Yes.
And tell me about the rest of your family.
Well, can I?
Yes.
I have, we have 6 siblings, 5 girls and 1 brother. And my sister and I, Mrs. Korzhovich and I, live in Milwaukee, and the rest of the family lives in Los Angeles. And I have 1 sister in the Soviet Union yet that couldn't come out.
So tell me the names, and you're the oldest.
Yes. Then Solomon Fuchs. He's 2 years younger than I am. They're all 2 years younger. Then Ora Korzhovich. And then Bella. She lives in Russia. Genya and Slava. Gitl or Slava, whatever.
And how would you describe your relationship growing up with your brothers and sisters?
Well, when we were at home, you know, life was different. We were under one roof. We were all young, and our parents guided us, and we went to school. We didn't know any hardship. But the war separated us, and everyone grew differently. Everyone became a different personality, you know. I would say I have a good relationship with my siblings, but we're all different. We are all different. We are certainly we didn't certainly turn out the way we would have turned out at home. We went through a lot, and we were separated, and we grew up. But I would think that I have a good relationship with my siblings. I love them, and I state my opinion. If I don't like something, we can. But I do have a good relationship.
Being the oldest, were you responsible for your younger sisters and brother?
At home? Yes. You know, in this country, a parent raises two children. They're so busy taking him here, taking them there. This was not at home. At home, one helped to raise the others, to help out our mother so she wouldn't have to work so hard. And I was the oldest, and I did help my mother a lot, and so is everyone else as they grew up. And I remember when I started working at 16, I used to go to a mangle. I used to take all our wash. At home, you wash differently. You have to soak your laundry. You have to boil it in lye soap. Then you have to take it to the river, and you have to hack it to rinse it out. It was a procedure of a whole week. Finally, the clothes got already dry. Then I used to take a sheet of clothes, and I used to walk to the mangle, and I used to mangle the clothes, not electrically, and then bring home the clothes, and then go to work 5 kilometers, and sometimes without breakfast. Yes.
Are there any other things you can remember that you did at home to help your mother?
Oh, lots of things. I hauled water from the pump. Richer people had a water dragon. We didn't have it. So I hauled water for my mother to fill up the barrel. You know, here in America, the ladies think they have it bad. They're having so wonderful. I mean, I certainly appreciate my life. And I don't live in a luxury. I live a nice life, but not in luxury, so I don't take this for granted.
Can you describe your home?
My home. Well, we were 8 people and lived in the room and the kitchen. The bedroom was a big bedroom, I remember it now, with 2 beds, beautiful bedspreads, pictures on the wall, a shelf, a closet. We didn't have built-in closets. And I don't know how we slept. I know one thing, I slept in the kitchen with my sister. You call it a bunk battle. It's something like a wooden bench with straw and covered up with a sheet, and I slept there. And my father had every 2 years a child. Don't ask me how this happened.
Tell me about your schooling.
Well, I went to schooling in Poland was like this. They were public schools. They were integrated. Jewish children, non-Jewish children, we all went to one school. And they were very good schools. We had professors and we had foreign language teachers. And I went to school. I finished 7th grade. And I went to work because in Europe, education was very expensive. And if you were a good student, then you could get a stipendium, you call it scholarship. Since I was not one of those, so I graduated in 1933, and I still remember a lot. And after this, I went to work to help out the family.
Did you actually have a graduation?
No. You finish school, you get a little diploma, and this was it. None of this was in the old country. Maybe in higher aristocratic homes. Sandy, I want to tell you, nobody in Europe were rich. We were all poor. The difference was, if you were a little better off, you had 2.5 rooms. Yes. Because we didn't have industry in Poland. People in Lodz, I think your mother was from Lodz, people from Lodz were a little better off. They have textiles, the industry. Yeah.
In your school, what percentage of the students were Jewish?
Oh, probably 50-50, yes.
And did you feel any discrimination?
No. I did not feel any discrimination at all. As a matter of fact, the Gentile children liked us, and we liked them. And my family had Gentile neighbors and businessmen, business people, and they were very fond of my family. As a matter of fact, after the war, Mrs. Korzkowicz did find that family Janicki. It was not far away, and they used to love us. What happened when the war started, I don't know, but we did not have any trouble. Of course, maybe there was some anti-Semitism, but myself as a young girl, I did not feel it, maybe. Maybe the older people did.
Can you describe your Jewish life in Zamosc?
Oh, my Jewish life was wonderful. Well, my brother went to a yeshiva. He did not have so much Polish education. He had Hebrew education, like religious upbringing. Us girls, my parents hired a melamed, a tutor, used to come, or we used to go to his house, and he taught us Ivrit, to daven a little bit. In the old country, everybody was Orthodox. There was none such thing like Reform and Conservative, and everybody was the same. Everybody practiced Judaism the same way. My parents were modern Jews. My father he wore real modern clothes, like a suit, and he shaved, not shaved, but maybe he cut his beard, but we were kosher. There was no other way. And we were Shomer Shabbos. And Friday night, it was just beautiful to see that Sabbath table and the candles and the meal and the zmires and everything. It was wonderful. And I just find out something, why you can wash dishes Friday night but not Shabbos. I met somebody very Orthodox, and that person told me, because Friday night you could be short of dishes for Shabbos. This is why you can rinse them out. But Shabbos, after the meal, we never wash dishes. We throw them in there, whatever, if we run out, children run away to play and to have fun. And I remember my brother sitting and reading Lerne Chumash, he was reading Talmud or the Gemure Shabbos after dinner in my house. And it was a wonderful life. I have very fond memories, but when I look around me today, I'm still observant. I am not as observant as maybe I should be, but I do things. I have a kosher home. I light candles on Friday night. I go to temple, I go to Easter, and I think I do okay. If I would have a husband, a family, I would do more, but sometimes you just don't say, ah. But I'm still observant, and what makes me very, very angry in this country is that most of the American women don't bench left and don't use kusha, and elderly people, and they don't even know how to bench left. So I think I'm observant to a certain extent. I could be much more if I want to, if I have a reason for it. I could be even Shomer Shabbos if I want to. But
how is your Shabbos meal different than the other days of the week?
Basically, my Shabbos meal is not different than you see.
In Europe.
Oh, in Europe. Well, you ate every day. My mother used to make meals like we ate a lot of bread and potatoes and liver, and and for Shabbos, you had to buy the most precious things, meats and goose and chicken, and the Sabbath table had to look especially. Everybody worked for Shabbos to prepare. And Thursday, my mother started to bake. She made wonderful pretzels, which I do today, no recipe. She made honey kichos that I don't know the recipe. I don't know how to make it. And she baked bread and challah for Shabbos. Yes, it was a nice life. Very nice.
Will you describe some of the other Jewish holidays?
Well, as the Sabbath was observant, and first of all, everybody went Friday night and Sabbath to the temple in Europe. It was not like everyone went. And the Jewish holidays were no exception. I belonged to a beautiful temple, and the women sat on a balcony, beautiful. The men sat downstairs, and everybody went to temple. Everybody was observant. Everybody fasted, and the Jewish holidays were very, very observant and very special, very special. I don't know, sometimes my children saw a lot in my home, but, they are like all the other American kids. And sometimes it bothers me a little bit, but it's not my world. They're out of my hands, but I have a grandson, Joel's son, and he's dear to my heart. I love him so very much. And he lives with this gentle mother. He was bar mitzvah, he had a bris. His family is very supportive of him. And he finished Hebrew school, Emmanuel, and he didn't want to go back. And I don't know, it bothers me. And you cannot talk to my Aaron. It started to push him. So the other day, I said to him, honey, you know that I love you, and I'm just concerned a little bit about you. And he said, Bobby, what's wrong? And I said to him, you know what? I never told you what to do, but I would like you to study a little more Judaism, get involved, because this is my only wish. And he said, Bobby, I will. When I'll get a little older, I will. So that means right now he's busy with other things, but he promised me he will.
How did your family observe Pesach?
Oh, Pesach. Pesach. First of all, you had to start to cook very early because we didn't have this electric stove or gas stoves. And you have to call and blow it and see that you start the fire. But anyway, Pesach, I remember my mother used to put us all to sleep after lunch. And just because Pesach was observed at midnight in Europe, so every child should be rested up and be fresh and up to the Seder. And my father used to make the Seder with pillows and with hilint and and with everything like it should be, yes. And everybody's in Fiakashis and in Hebrew, and it was very observant and very kosher.
Any particular foods that you remember eating?
Well, you kneidlich with soup and roasted chicken and beef and everything. We ate about everything that we eat now, for the holidays. And on the high holidays, you made kreplach, and every holiday had their favorite dish, specialty.
Any other holidays that you can specifically remember?
Well, Purim was a nice holiday. As we were not very poor, but we were not also rich, my father used to sit and hand out money to the poor. And Purim, this was something. And we used to go to the Megillah, and we used to eat special food. And Hanukkah was a wonderful holiday also. But, we used to get one gift, Hanukkah geld, once, not for 7 days. There wasn't such a thing. Because here you have to go for the holidays, the Christmas holiday, the children get gifts. So